Welcome to the first episode of Rooted Economics. This is a podcast presented by the Bamboo Roots Initiative where we talk all things American economy and why we are teaching life insurance as the tool to build wealth for Americans. Okay? So we're starting off hot topic Social Security. It's the heart, the undercurrent of everything that we've built. Once we understand Social Security in full, then we will be able to see how it's worked, why it was designed, how it's been operating, and why we are pushing for life insurance to be an alternative. Okay, so let's dive right in. All right, so I found this post on social media on Facebook, so you can go ahead and find me. That's my logo and my name if you want to go ahead and add me. However, I said if I get one like on this, I'll go ahead and do a deep dive. So as you can see, I liked it myself. I thought that was pretty funny. Basically said, okay, bet, I'll go ahead and do this. So, yeah, we'll see here what the actual comment was. So you're telling me that these MFers really lied to us in 1936 when these Social Security cards were made. They said their account number big as day, and then they take it off? They lied to us just to say it's not associated to a real bank account with unlimited credit. Oh, I'm about to lock in on this class session. All right, so let's slow down. I've seen a lot of conspiracies. I've seen a lot of theories about this Social Security number and this Social Security card. Before we really tap into that, I do want you to know that I have also studied a lot of the consumer law angle of this, and they are pretty close, but I do believe they're incomplete. But again, before we talk about the card itself, let's talk about the full Social Security Act. All right, so first thing we want to address, it wasn't 1936 that they created the Social Security Act. In fact, it was 1935. Why is that significant? What was happening in America during that time? Well, from 1929 to 1933, okay, that was the Great Depression. Many people know the Great Depression because, the stock market dropped 11% in one day. Oh my goodness, Black Thursday. But the real story is the stock market actually dropped 89% from 1929 to 1933. All right, so this is what I need us to understand. The market has no protection, it has no backstop, and no safety included, all right, if things were to turn bad. I just want everybody to realize that it has happened in the past where the market has dropped 89%. And what scares me about that information is that back in the 30s, only 3% of Americans were invested into the stock market, and we see the catastrophe that came from it. But now, let's go ahead and do a quick search. So I looked up what percentage of Americans are currently invested in the stock market. This article here by Gallup says that 61% of Americans were recorded in the stock market in 2023. That's over half of us. What would happen if over 61% of Americans' life savings saw an 89% drop? And again, I'm not here to fearmonger. What I'm here to do is educate. Okay? So, America has gone through an extremely difficult season. All right? The Great Depression hit. And in 1933, the reason it seems to me why the Great Depression era ended was because of Executive Order 6102. All right, so I don't want to just tell you guys about it. I want us to look it up together. All right, so again, as I mentioned, in 1933, the Executive Order 6102 by FDR required Americans to turn in gold to the Federal Reserve to combat the Great Depression. So this wasn't anything that was a suggestion. Okay, this was mandated by our government, so much so that if you did not give them your gold, you face jail time and a fine, significant fine. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was up to $10,000. which is a lot of money, especially in 1933. So that's something else to keep in mind, that if you are hedging these precious metals, that's perfectly fine. You can do that if you'd like. I'm not a financial advisor, but I do want to, again, give education that there was a time where it didn't matter if it was your personal gold. If you are an American, they can withdraw that from you, okay? Because they did it with Executive Order 6102. But the reason that they said that they were taking our gold was to pool together the assets. That way they can get a handle and a grip on the economy. And that's sort of what ended the Great Depression season, all right? So this all still happened before Social Security, all right? We have 1929, 1933, the Great Depression. 1933, we get the Executive Order 6102 when they take our gold. And then they have 2 years to go ahead and present us with a plan. Because as you can imagine, as an American, we were upset. All right, we had no protection. We had 10,000 banks closed down, meaning everybody who had money inside those banks lost access. We saw jobs being cut, and back then, health insurance was done privately. It wasn't provided to us by the government. So we saw many of people not having health care access, people dying in the streets, homeless. We were abandoned as an American people. So what America decided to do was put together Social Security. All right, so again, boom. We're waiting as a people. You took our gold. Okay, we're not in this Great Depression anymore. What are you presenting to us? So America put this together and said, hey, for being a U.S. citizen, we are going to establish a federal system of social welfare programs in response to the economic challenges of the Great Depression. So what were some of those promises? Healthcare was one of those promises. Retirement was one of those promises. Affordable housing was one of those promises. And we'll quickly see that the thing that was promised to us, they never intended to give us. Okay, so why do I say that? There we go. Under the Social Security Act, the official age to receive federal old age benefits was 65. All right? So again, we're going to provide this lifestyle. You guys work for us. You guys are tax-paying citizens. We want to provide a lifestyle for you. And that lifestyle that we'll provide, you will get these benefits at 65. Okay? Sounds good, right? Well, that's what we think until we just do a little bit of digging. "62 years old for women, 58 for men." So we can average that out to 60 years. And wait a minute, hold on. I thought we couldn't receive benefits until 65. Well, life expectancy was only 60 years old. So this is what America promises us. We're going to take your goal to stop this. We're going to pool our resources together. That way we can provide this lifestyle to you that the majority of you will never receive. That was their plan. That is the plan that they presented to us, and each and every one of us signed into this system. Social Security is the system that we are all in. And why are we so upset that the system isn't providing benefits when they initially told us that the majority of us were never supposed to receive those benefits? Blows my mind. So we begin to see Social Security was never what it actually seems. Now, what really bothers me about this whole thing is if you're pooling together the resources, Why are you saying that we're supposed to run out of Social Security by 2033 to 2037? If you weren't paying people, who stewarded the resources? Again, I'm not here to say that I have all the answers, but I do believe that we should have something in place. So let's see. Uh, Exactly, 2033 to 2037. And it's crazy because before I did see 2033 to 2037, I was actually curious, how is it going to be that time frame still? When we look at the Big Beautiful Bill, the Big Beautiful Bill specifically took $1 trillion away from the Social Security Act. Again, think about this, y'all. This was the system that was provided to the American people. For being an American citizen, we are going to provide a lifestyle for you: affordable housing, affordable healthcare, retirement, and just dignity in aging. You are more than a number. You are more than productivity. And they cut $1 trillion away from it last year. If you don't believe me, maybe you'll believe the search. How much Social Security was cut? Excuse me. Oh man, see, here we go. Here we go. Um, it's $1 trillion, y'all. I should have brought up me the Yahoo Finance article. I just didn't think it was going to be this difficult to find. Dun, 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 dun. It's okay. Guess what? I made a video about it. We're going to watch that video together really quickly. Here we go. I'm sorry, y'all. I wasn't expecting me to have to figure this out, because there is a picture here showing that $1 trillion was cut from Social Security. Maybe that was the wrong video. Okay, don't worry about it. We're gonna figure this out. All right, for many of the nearly 53 million retired workers who receive a monthly Social Security benefit, this income is indispensable. Yeah, this is why it matters. One of the reasons why it matters. All right, let's see. Yep, they're coming sooner than you realize. And look at that, the first check was mailed in 1940. This plan started in 1935, but the first check wasn't mailed until 1940. Here we go. 2025, Board of Trustees issued 2 weeks, long-term obligation balloon to $25.1 trillion. Whew, that's a lot of money that they owe, or that they promised us. This is really getting insane. See, this is the thing, man. I really feel like they hide information. This is so frustrating. Messed up the whole video. So this is why you have to do your own research. AI is not always accurate. It says there was no $1 trillion cut to Social Security programs. I'm going to find the actual Yahoo Finance article or the clip, and I'm going to come back and we'll just do that next episode. But essentially, what we have, again, is the history today. We have the Great Depression from 1929 to 1933, 89% drop in the stock market, affected the entire nation. In 1933, to get a handle on the nation's economy, they had to take gold from all of the Americans, mandated. After that, they come to us with a plan. The plan is called Social Security, where as a tax-paying citizen, the nation promised its citizens a certain lifestyle, a standard of living. And we also see that they took 2 years to create this plan. And within those 2 years, they have said to us, they literally presented to us saying, yeah, we promise a certain lifestyle for a few of you. Many of you will never receive this benefit because you can't receive these benefits until 65, although the average life expectancy is 60. So this is just the beginning pieces of the history of Social Security. We haven't talked about the Social Security Act actually being originally drafted as the Economic Security Act. I think that'll be the last piece of information we'll share with you today. It was originally called our Economic Security Act. And we just saw that they said that the nation's Economic Security Act is supposed to run out of money by 2033. That is 7 years away. That is less than a decade, less than 10 years. What held our nation up, what got us out of this financial crisis is running out. And I want to know, would you care more if you knew that the nation's Economic Security Act was running out of money? And also, does it now make sense as to why we see all of the signs around us that we are currently seeing? The one thing that brought this nation economic security is disappearing. And many of us are now feeling that insecurity here in America. So, again, please stay tuned. We will be back. We will give some more information out as to, again, why we believe that this system was flawed from the beginning, and why there should be is another system of life insurance that you can use to build your wealth. All right, so we're just focusing today on a little bit of history of Social Security. Next, we'll probably talk about how it actually operates and how it affects each and every one of us. And then we'll probably transition into why life insurance is an alternative solution to building wealth. But until next time, stay blessed, stay safe, and peace.